Well, I had a problem. I must have touched the button when I was talking about the ice storm. Well, the thing was is that I couldn't move anywhere. I was I was stuck on an incline. So it was a slight incline going up into the customer's shop with the overhead crane where they loaded everything. But I couldn't get in there because there was a slight lip, and as soon as any turn was made in spread axle, there is side pressure on your trailer, and it causes the traction tires to work harder to push that trailer in the position of your choice that you're choosing with the steering wheel. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense if you've never felt a spread axle trailer. It's not like a tandem where you have a closer pivot points. These are spread out, so there's more pressure. So anytime I turned the wheel, I just basically spun out. There's nothing I could do about it. It was a crane load behind me, and so they had that whole thing taken up, and then I had a downhill and a left turn up a driveway. I couldn't make it. There was some dry section of where I was sitting because I took all the snow. So once I got back into that, then I could at least get enough traction to continue backing. It didn't help any. So what they did was they ordered a sand truck. It took a while. I kept trying multiple times. I tried to turn, but I knew that if I had to put it in a hard jack to make a turn, I was going to spin. There was nothing I could do. So I just had to sit there and wait for them to figure it out. And they called a sand truck from their sister company. They came over and they, like I showed you with the wheels and everything, is probably why it didn't make a lot of sense. A little later on, I'll just try and stick this section in where it'll make some sense. So they had to back up with the sand spreader and then jiggle all that sand all over and shoot it out, and it was shot all over my tires. So it was just like I just got my truck washed, that weekend. It was like all bets are off. You have to serve the customer. There's nothing you could do about it. So once all that was done, I was able to walk right in. They threw salt down too, ice melt. They did everything that they possibly could, and we finally got in there, obviously, because I got loaded. And by another 3 hours later, it was all melted. So nothing we could do, but time was of the essence because they had to get that jigsaw puzzle put together. They had 5 guys working on it, at least 5, and they were all handling the cranes and the dunnage and the pieces, parts, and some of them they actually lifted by hand. So that's all I can tell you. I won't be lifting them off by hand, I can tell you that right now. They're going to have a crew. So hopefully everything will be squared away at the customer. It remains to be seen. We'll let you know how that goes. But just trying to show some of the pictures and stuff maybe at the end. I've got a couple pictures of the yard, of the load in the yard. I just did a couple. I always snap a couple for the agent and for myself. And the previous load was a load of used propane tanks. I'd brought from Post Falls, Idaho to Portage, Wisconsin. And there was a company there that, they major size, a lot, thousands and thousands of tanks. So they did pretty bare. Then we served them, got them done. I just happened to look on the load board, and then I saw this one was kind of hidden. And it was up in Michigan, so people probably weren't shooting for that if they weren't in Wisconsin, because of the time of year and the location. If it was on the Upper Peninsula, people would have to drive several hundred miles to get it. But to me, it was like, I think it was a couple hundred, 220, and no problem. just go up and grab it and be done. Gives me a chance, because that propane tank load was stressful to me because of the way it was loaded and the style, type, and the stacking technique. It wasn't like the usual one with the nice saddles that are pre-made. Oh no, they had to use 4x4s with no toe board. So basically, it was balanced up there, and they had to leave straps on until all the chains, and you probably have seen in my other video, loading propane tanks, they have chains come down to the end of the tanks and they're lifted. Well, they were grabbing 4 at a time of these little ones, and they'd lift 3 and they'd had one long set, and then it would dangle down here. What a major. So all that was done. It was enough to make me nervous, like I said. I was glad. I don't need the stress. I just don't. So, I'm up here in India. It's a bright, sunshiny day. It's nice. I'm going to try and get to the customer. I'll have to go here just a little bit to give you here where I'm at. So, yeah, see, it's a nice, bright, blue day. So we're in the Flying J parking lot. That's one of my tips, is I go to the back. And always find parking. I was all stacked up there, but last night I was tired, and I went to the back and I had an easy shot. So, yeah, let me see if I showed you. You can pretty much see in the mirror there. It's right at the back row. So that's the way I do it, anyways. And I guess we'll just have to see you on the road. You guys stay careful, safe, watch out for boneheads.